Now the task we've got is to pull a piece of paper apart, maybe some different paper products, and see if we can see some of those fibrous materials in those paper products. That could be something you can do at home, is to pull a piece of paper apart, see if you can see some of the fibres which come from the plant material, such as trees. And this is a bit of card which you can already see the fibres on. I'm not going to rip that apart, but if you were to get close enough, you'd find that most paper looks a little bit like that. So ripping a bit of newspaper apart is also a bit scientific, because it will tear nicely in one direction, but in the other direction it doesn't tear straight at all. So all the fibres are all lined up. It's a bit like a piece of wood. All the fibres are lined up in one direction, and so it tears nicely one way, but not so good the other way. A piece of paper, tissue, doesn't tear very well, paper towel, and an egg carton. Now we'll try and get some close-up of some of the fibres. Bring it in, focus, paper towel. You can see the size of those fibres there in relation to my finger beside it. There's a tissue, there's the newspaper, and you get some of those fibres in the shadow as well. So that's the computer microscope on the edge of the newspaper, and seeing those strands, those fibres. I'll just try and move it along a little bit for you. There's the letter P, one of the letters on the newspaper, and you can see the fibres all through. And this is the fibres of that card under the microscope. Let's have a look at that on the computer. And you can see them really spaced out, and bits of blue dye, I guess, sticking in places to give it that colour. They're the fibres of white paper. You can see how white and meshy they are, quite thick, quite compact together too. And white paper will be bleached to make sure that they're all pristine white. So more chemical goes into those, more processed, you would say the paper is. That's the tissue, looking like that under the microscope. Now that's an egg carton under the microscope, and you can see the fibres, but they've also got bits and pieces of impurities in there which make that grey, motley sort of colour of an egg carton, because an egg carton is usually made from recycled papers to start with, so it doesn't have to be so processed, so bleached and so beautiful as white paper does. So paper towel is the next one, and they are the fibres of the paper towel. Quite spread out, because the paper towel has to soak up water, so it wants space between the fibres. My tabletop here is made from MDF, which stands for medium density fiberboard. And you can almost see some of the fibres crisscrossing through that material as well.